Hello, Meeks Peaks.
Hello.
Oh, you look nice today, huh? You get all dressed up for the video?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, another week has come and gone. I feel like they're flying by now. We're into August. Crazy. Tomorrow is the first official day of football practice for Brody. I'm helping coach football. Brody's in 5th grade tackle, and they officially start tomorrow on the 7th. So we're entering our first full week of August tomorrow. The last time we came at you, it was the very end of July. Summer break's almost over. Are you sad? You still have like 4 weeks, 4 weeks.
But guess what?
What?
King Goose today.
Yeah, we're gonna go foster a dog later today. So we're gonna have another addition to the Johnson family for at least a short period of time. Let's talk fishing. You know, I've been all over the place this past week. Literally, I've hit 5, 6, 7 different lakes. I'm not sure. I've fished all different kinds of bites. I've seen all different kinds of systems. We had the Blackfish Classic on Monday, which was awesome. Congrats again to Noah Schultz, Tim Pittman. They cracked 20 pounds. The only team to do it, 20.14, won the 6th annual Blackfish Classic on Lake Minnetonka. It was a stingy bite. Second place dropped into 18. Third place had 18 something. I think you needed, oh boy, you didn't even need 15 pounds to crack a top 20. So the lake was fishing stingy. So to get 20 pounds on Monday, in my opinion, and win by almost 1.5 pounds is awesome. So again, congrats to Noah and Tim. Very well deserved. They caught 5 big bass. Giant one. Super cool. Got a chance to recoup a little bit there that week, and then we jumped back on the water with Noah, with Glenn Walker, with the one and only Sam Sobey on Thursday to do a little bit of asset gathering and kind of recap a little bit of how the week went. Super fun. We chased fish a variety of ways. I did see some consistency. A lot of fish are offshore, and offshore is relative. We've used that term a lot in the last week. How and where are you catching your fish? And we say offshore. What do you think offshore is?
Where you're off the shore.
Where you're off the shore. Okay, she nailed it. But what it means is basically structure and stuff that is relating to more main lake spots. And offshore could be anything from 6 feet rock pile to 24-foot coontail deep points. But most things are offshore, off the bank. And we've seen a lot of fish caught that way. We have definitely caught some fish up under docks, under trees. So don't get me wrong, there are some patterns shallow. But the majority of our fish, quality of fish, are offshore. And I'm going to show you a couple ways we're catching those fish that have been consistent. And then we'll do a quick recap on, or a preview of what we think this next week's going to bring. For starters, an easy way to catch offshore fish is with a crankbait. Caught a lot of fish on a crankbait. This is a DT8, dives to 8 feet. That seems to be the desired bait. Or a DT10, dives to 8 feet, dives to 10 feet. And that seems to be about that depth range I've been doing really well at, is 8, 10, 12 feet of water. Now I've thrown a DT16 a little bit, but as the weeds start to do their thing right now, the first part of August, I find myself just catching a lot of weeds. So the DT8, the DT10, those seem to be my go-to depth range target zone crankbaits. That's caught a lot of fish, a lot of bass, a lot of pike are chowing on it. I fished this probably a little more unconventional than your average angler. I'm throwing it on braid. A lot of people are like, braid? I throw it on a 10-pound braid. It gets down, I feel like, quicker. It gets down faster. I can pull it through the weeds. I have more sensitivity. I'm still using your typical crankbait rod, but I'm throwing this on a 10-pound braid. A lot of anglers fish a fluorocarbon for crankbaits. I totally get it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I've been fishing braid for 15, 20 years on my crank rods. I put thin diameter 10-pound test braid. I can throw it a country mile. I can feel it purr and do everything I want it to do. The second it nicks a weed, I can kind of pop it through the weeds a little better. I have not seen a major decrease on catching fish, in my opinion, but I'd love to hear your comments if you think I'm doing it wrong. But I fish a 10-pound braid. What do you think? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Like that one? Would you bite that one? No, she says no. Another way we're catching some fish, super easy offshore, hard bottom spot. I take my all-terrain rock jig, which is a football head jig, no skirt, plain jig. They come in a variety of different weights depending on the depth you want to fish. This is a 1/2 ounce, but they have 3/4 ounce. They have larger ones, smaller ones. This is a great tool, and I'll show you. That's got a football head, right? A lot of surface area. It's going to hit the bottom. It's going to drag like this, and it's a very easy way to find hard bottom and stay in contact with it. You cast it out there. You slow reel it in. Maybe interject a few subtle hops and pauses. Easy bait to fish. And I'm putting a pocket craw from Twister on this. You can put your favorite craw type bait, twin tail. A lot of people will fish a twin tail, whatever you might do. But I'm just throwing a pocket craw. Oop. I take that, I pop those off. There you go. Kelly says nope, and I'm just threading it on like I would any other plastic. This is a super simple way to catch offshore bass, especially when you're targeting that hard bottom and you want to find that hard bottom. I'm just threading that on there, and I'll show you once I'm done. Everyone watching this has threaded a plastic on 1,000,000 times. There you have it. There's your offering. Nothing too crazy, nothing too big and gaudy, just a small presentation mimicking a crayfish. We had a little derby out on the water yesterday. A lot of them bass in the live well. You know what they were doing, Callie? Puking up crayfish. There was chunks of crayfish in the live well. This right here, I can pitch out over deep offshore structure, drag it across the bottom, work for some fish. Pitch again, I can flip it. I can cast this thing a long ways on a bait caster. I'm fishing a 17-pound or even 14-pound fluorocarbon. You can definitely do a braid fluorocarbon leader. Super easy way to get bit. That's a rock jig. All Terrain also makes the football jig, which is basically the similar head shape. Weed guard, silicone skirt, complete package. Another way to catch some fish. Another way to catch these offshore fish, we've talked about it 1,000,000 times, drop shots. Caught a pile of fish on drop shots this last week. A pile. Ned rig, jig worm, lots of ways to catch these fish. I did throw a big worm a little bit, an 8-inch mag buzz worm. Caught some fish on that. I threw swim baits, smasher head, largo shad, a ton. That's how I got my biggest bites in the tournament yesterday, was on a swim bait. Brody and I teamed up, got second. Jack and Joe Anderson got third. The infamous Drew Aspinwall and Thane Jensen got first. Again, 2 years in a row. Punks, right? Just kidding, they're good, really good anglers. So a lot of fun ways to catch your fish right now. It's warm out. I'm living in my Blackfish UPF stuff. I've been leaning towards the ones with hoods. So then I can do this. Keep the sun off my back, of my neck, my ears. Keep some of the moisture in. The nice thing about these shirts, as we've talked about before, is they wick the moisture from your body. They keep you cool. So when it's really hot out like we're seeing right now, it actually regulates my body temperature a little bit. Those are some important things. Again, we also talk about the time of day you go fishing. If you have the opportunity to pick your time of day, first few hours of light, last few hours of light, that's obviously when it's the most comfortable on your body. It's also when some of these fish, especially bass, will set up on these hard bottom spots and really feed. Once you get to the 10 o'clock hour and let's say till the 5, 6 o'clock hour in the afternoon, evening, fishing gets tougher. It just is what it is. Now, if that's the window of time you can go fishing, do it. Do not just sit at home if you have that opportunity. Just go deep. Get offshore, use some of these tactics we just talked about. I've had some really great bass bites at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on 90-degree days with no wind, fishing drop shots and jig worms and Ned rigs on offshore deep coontail spots. So the fish still bite, or get up along a dock line, skip some docks, hone in on your skills, work on where you're pitching, casting, weaving, dodging with that kind of stuff. So a lot of great opportunities ahead of us. I expect this week to be very similar to what we just explained. Very, very similar. I'm going to do things the exact same way we just talked about. I'm going to fish offshore. I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to key in on some of these hard bottom spots. I'm going to try to pick the areas that I think are going to be high productive, summery feely areas. I'm not just going to go fan cast everywhere willy-nilly. I'm going to look at a lake map. I'm going to do a little bit of homework. I'm going to look at these offshore saddles, humps, points, things like that, and mark up where I think there might be some fish, and I'm going to go give it a try. I'm going to look for some new spots this week as well. We got a busy week ahead of us. I didn't even look at the forecast. I think I saw tomorrow is going to be in the 80s, so it's probably going to be warm. I didn't look past that. And then next weekend, what are we doing next weekend?
grandma's.
Going to the cabin next week, and we're going to go over to western Wisconsin again next weekend. Take my parents with us and try to get some walleyes, try to get some bass. Not exactly sure what's going to happen yet. Otherwise, we'll be in the metro until then. So
You can't forget, we have new bracelets in stock, fish ones.
you have new bracelets in stock, fish ones. These are super cool with fish on them. There's 3 options. One,
With one fish, one with sunfish and clay beads, another one with fish.
so they're $5, $7, $10. Anyone wants to get their hands on a cool fish bracelet, hit me up. Callie will make one for you.
Yep.
Anything else? Catch you next time.
Yeah.
Keep it real.
Yeah.
All right. So again, check out the rock jig, pocket croc combo. Don't forget Mr. Crankbait.
I want that one.
That one's cute. And then continue to fish the way you've done it with jig worms, Ned rigs, drop shots, and you'll get bit the next week on the water. Pretty much promise you. Have a good one. We'll catch you next week. See you, Callie.
Bye.